today. We have the founders of Tejas Financial. Tejas Financial को बहुत early startups जो हैं वो struggle करते हैं to scale and to grow because their lack of funds and they really want to grow into other markets. So explore करना होता है, company को बढ़ाना होता है, challenges होते हैं, and we want to really learn from their experience. More importantly, we want to share जो इनको जो इंडस्ट्री से insights इनको मिली हैं या जो इन्होंने जर्नी अपनी की है of raising investment and what should be the key ingredients, negotiation कैसे करते हैं, बात कैसे करते हैं, आगे forecast कैसे करते हैं, books कैसे maintain करते हैं, and how really you need to grow as a company and manage those investments. So without further wasting time, I would formally welcome Noreen and Hamza, founders of Tejas Financial. So Assalamu alaikum and over to you guys.
Assalamu alaikum and great to be here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, Asfa. I think let's begin with kind of sharing our own story. So Noreen and I have been working together for about 8 years now. And about 5 years ago or so, we decided to do something in the financial inclusion space. We wanted to introduce technology that would make the disbursement process for MFIs a lot more efficient. And so back in 2014, I guess 2014-15, we started knocking on doors for all the MFIs that were out there, pitching them a solution. And that's kind of where we began our entrepreneurial journey. During that time, we kind of recognized and realized that doing business in Pakistan, doing business anywhere is difficult. And I think, for innovative ideas, it's specifically more challenging. We went through multiple pivots and iterations of our product, so much so that we went from a B2B to a B2C play. We had to partner up with the right kind of people. We had to seek the right kind of investment from the right investors. And lo and behold, today, alhamdulillah, we're operating in Pakistan across 160 cities. We have more than 150,000 loans that we've given out across Pakistan. So, that's what we're doing. Tejas effectively, just sharing, Tejas effectively is a neobank play. What that means is we want to provide all kinds of banking services, but only through a digital mean. So we have an app, and through that app, you can access lending services, insurance services, saving services, and investment services. So that's what we do. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be important to add on that we're technically a licensed microfinance institution, which actually adds on, another layer of intricacies. So I think, why don't you?
Yeah. So I think the topic for today is focusing on how do you fundraise, and we will share some of our experiences. We'll share some of the things that we've learned on the road, and how we kind of went about it. I think the first thing that's really, really important is, I think in our view, is understanding the market. Typically, when we talk to other people in the ecosystem, when we talk about particularly Pakistan, we talk about the 220 million people that are out there. And the reality is there is no company in Pakistan that serves 220 million people. There is no company in Pakistan that even serves 100 million people, right? So reaching that is not going to be easy. And that potential, that market potential is not, you really need to kind of think through here, who is your market? Generally हम जब लोगों से बात कर रहे होते हैं तो नजर ये आता है कि यार वो 18 से 60 साल के दरमियान में जितने भी लोग हैं हमारी market है. But that's not true. And so for all the startups out there, like really think through who your customer is, what that market is, what is the sales addressable size of that market. And Pakistan में वो कहते हैं कि यार कितने billion dollar की जो है वो e-commerce industry है. Where does that number actually come from? How are you kind of figuring that out? What are the income stratas that are there? So really understanding your market is key, because when you actually go out and talk to investors, especially at an early stage. So that's early revenue or pre-revenue. They're going to be talking to you about they're going to be thinking of investing in your company because of a certain value that you're going to bring or a valuation that you're going to eventually get to. And a lot of that is going to be driven by the revenues that you can generate through the customers that you have. So understanding that market is critical, and I think that's point one for me in terms of kind of figuring out here when you're going to an investor, really understand who your market is. And it's not just about कि यार ये 6 हमारे पास categories हैं. Really go inside, do surveys, understand your customer base, and showcase traction with that particular customer. So that kind of leads me into the I think our second point, which is that you really need to understand who your customer is and the relationship that you have with them. Now, I understand it might be difficult for pre-revenue companies to kind of go out and say, "Yaar, how do I build that traction, or how do I build that relationship with the customer?" But I think smart entrepreneurs and smart businesses, what they do is they go out and tap into a potential market early on, not necessarily in terms of giving them a service, but just reaching out, understanding their concerns, understanding their challenges, and using that information and taking it to the investors, saying, listen, we've spoken to these guys, we've engaged these people, this is our potential customer base. This is the once we start, once we have enough revenue to kind of give out a service or a product, this is who we're gonna convert on a early case. So I think that's the second piece, right? So figuring out who that customer is, the traction that you build with them, and of course that traction then will lead into your entire overall business model, and understanding what your business model is, usko काफी clearly हमें define करने की ज़रूरत है. So I think from a beginning point of view, these are the 3 key things that are most important when initially going out and speaking to or seeking out and speaking to investors. Because I think ideas are a dime a dozen, right? The real challenge is executing those ideas. And when you understand your market, when you understand your customer and you're able to engage your customer, I think that's when other people start to view you in a much more serious manner. And even if you don't have necessarily requisite experiences, because we see that most founders in Pakistan are fairly young, they don't have years and years of corporate or professional experience. But that kind of showcases maturity in terms of how do you approach a problem and how do you solve that. So I think that's very, very key when thinking through an investor's perspective and going out and catching their their eye, I guess. I think so. That's part one, and I think that's the first piece that you really need to kind of figure out. I think the second piece that you need to figure out is you need to understand that this is not a job that you can do alone, and hence your team is critical. And I think that relationship here with Noreen is such a blessing, because we've worked together for so long that we're able to feed off each other, be a backbone of support. If one's not feeling well, the other can step in and otherwise. But also you need people to challenge you, and you need to perform at your level best. So if you don't get that challenge, you won't be thinking. You might not necessarily be thinking in the right manner. तो काफी important है कि यार आप टीम अपने साथ build करो, and expertise जो है वो critical है कि you need to figure out कि यार what is it that I'm good at? I need to focus on this. Now there is a gap that I have within the business model or whatever I'm trying to produce. So for example, in Tez, Noreen looks after the people, the investors, the regulators. She's a people's person. And she kind of focuses more on that. I focus more on the operational side. So, we pick and choose on what we're better at, and then we hone in on that. So it's important to figure out who that team member is, and building that relationship with them. And I think having a strong team and showcasing that this team is committed to you, or committed to the mission of the business is key when you go in front of investors. Because oftentimes we've seen KR, typically when you go in and you say KR, you might be a great techie, you might have a fantastic business idea, but you may not be a salesperson. So figuring out KR, how do you kind of bring that element into your team? Very, very important. And get those first few, get your co-founders in quickly and bring them in at the vision level so that they're there for the long run, not the short-term gain. कि यार ये छोटी सी equity मिल गई या छोटी salary मिली. Get them to buy into the vision. And I think if you're bought into the vision, then through the ups and the lows, that team is going to remain with you, and I think that's key. And I think the last piece that I want to touch on when investors are kind of looking into you is you need to be very crisp in terms of explaining what your business is. Very interesting एक fun fact आज हमने निकाला कि DocuSend एक company है जिसने carried out a study and figured out कि investors typically spend 2 minutes and 33 seconds on a deck. So rather than starting the story कि यार बाबर आया था 1400s के अंदर और फिर जो है ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी बनी थी और फिर जो है 1947 पाकिस्तान बना, really get to the point of what you're trying to do and hone in into that. And if you can't grab the other person's attention in the first 2 or 3 minutes, then you've pretty much lost interest in that. And building these relationships is very difficult, right? Because these guys are being tapped upon from all sorts of people consistently. So they need to kind of sift out who's good and who's not. And if you can't catch that eye early on, it becomes challenging. So make sure your decks are crisp, your story is clean, and there's not a lot of clutter. You're really kind of honing into the point. This is my market, this is my customer, this is what I've done, this is my business model, this is what I need. Are you interested, right? So fairly simple kind of, we don't need to get into the nitty-gritties. So I think broadly speaking, I think that's how you get in touch with the investor first. And I think post that, a lot of it is about maintaining that relationship, making sure that you're able to get to know the investor on the other side, and the investor is able to get to know you as a person. Early stage startups, most startups in Pakistan, very, very high risk. And so it's not necessarily the business model that they're taking the risk on, but they're taking the risk on the entrepreneur themselves. So, you need to make sure that you're able to build that relationship with them. And I think, at some stage, we also faltered in those kind of areas, and we learned over time, it's not about, but you have to build that relationship. You have to keep that open conversation so that you're able to share, okay, these are the challenges that I have. What do you think? What's happened in different countries? You have a few startups that you've invested in, which are doing a similar kind of business in maybe Bangladesh or Indonesia. How are they kind of dealing with this? And I think that builds a sense of comfort from the other side as well. कि यार ये बंदा या बंदी इसके बारे में सोच रहा है, and kind of builds upon that. I think the last piece that I kind of want to point out is you need to be extremely flexible. So your vision needs to be the same, but your mechanism to achieve that vision, you need to be flexible in that. So saying कि यार मैंने सिर्फ इसको इसी तरीके से करना है या इसी सर्विस से देना है, इसी प्रोडक्ट के थ्रू करना है या यही मार्केटिंग चैनल इस्तेमाल करना है या एक्विजिशन चैनल इस्तेमाल करना है is not the right way. So collecting data early on, understanding that data, iterating to improve on that, on whatever indicator that you're looking at is key. And so the power to pivot or the flexibility to pivot is very important.
Great. So I think Hamza has very much laid the building blocks, or the tick marks that one needs to have when you are going into pitching. So for example, he mentioned the pitch, and one thing that I'll actually now be taking on from all these things will be, how do you actually raise investments? What is the fundraising process? What are the steps that go into it? And to be honest, there is no ideal formula to it. It's an art and a science. And trust me, it is a full-time job, which we would want for it not to be. One of the biggest struggles that we have is, how does one actually take away time to focus on the business and not having to spend too much time on fundraising? But the truth is that fundraising is a full-time job, and it does take away a lot of, if done rightly, it does take away a lot of your effort and time, even if it's not done rightly. It might not have the right results, but it does take away all your time. So, when we started, so they, just to, give you a background, we raised our seed round from a very dynamic group of investors. And to name them, so our sponsor is Planet N. I'm sure, those you guys must have heard of Planet N in Pakistan. But a couple of other investors that we actually raised funding from are called Media Network. Well, now they're called Flourish Ventures, which is the largest impact investment fund in the world. We are their first and only investment in Pakistan. And the second one is Axion, which is the largest microfinance fund in the world. The same goes for them. We are their first and only investment currently in Pakistan as well. And so, with them, the process started when we actually hadn't even, gone into the market. So this was literally an idea on paper when we raised funding from them. And, we'll actually come on to how that story really panned out. But just to share our process that we try to follow, well, some with success, some with not so much success, is number one, you always need to have a fundraising plan. And by that, we mean, why do you need that funding? What will you use it for? How much do you need? When do you want to raise it? From whom do you want to raise it? So these are questions that you want to answer, and you want to have that strategy with the goals and the timelines in place. Because if you don't, you'll just be scrambling around. Now, even when you have decided, that you have to raise funds, and trust me, it's not imperative that you have to raise funding from equity or debt, or investors. You can actually, and this is what's going to take me to this point, what can be your sources of funding? Now, your sources of funding can be equity, your sources of funding can be debt. And I think one of the most promising sources that early stage startups could actually try to explore as much as grants. Even with us, we've been really always been on the lookout of looking for grants, or whether it's prize money, because I think that's something that, has no strings attached most of the times. And it's actually something that can, bridge that liquidity gap that could actually take you to the point that you actually raise a proper funding round. And, when we're talking about that, it's important to understand that fundraising, now there's actually a lot of technicalities that come into it as well. There are different sorts of instruments through which you can raise funds. Other than pure equity or debt, these, I'm sure a lot of you have been talking about convertibles. And in Pakistan, I think there's still a lot that has to be done in the kind of instruments that can, be developed for startups to raise funding, such as SAFEs, which are convertible notes. The reason why most early stage companies should actually go into convertibles is because it's tougher to set valuations at an early stage, because most of us are either pre-revenue stage. Even if we are at revenue stage, the revenue is just too minimal to actually put a tag to it in terms of valuation. So for younger startups, it's better to actually get into convertibles where possible. For Tejas, for example, the intricacy being a licensed lending institution is that we have minimum capital requirements. So most of the time we, have to raise equity to, meet our regulatory requirements. So, at times we don't have that option. But for a lot of you companies out there who are not licensed and do not have, minimum capital requirements, try to go for convertibles where possible. Now, the third point that I would want to come to is you need to identify the right kind of investors. Now, investors also have, there are different species of investors. Not all of them have the same mandates. Not all of them have the same investment, appetites. Not all of them are looking for the same geographies. You have different, and I'm sure you guys must have heard of these different type of investors. You've got angel investors, which are usually high net worth individuals or boutique companies who are looking to invest in smaller companies. Then you've got VCs, venture capital firms that are usually looking for early stage companies for up to, let's say, 50% of the stake, and they usually come in ticket sizes up to Series A. And then you've got PE funders, which usually come on in for larger later stage rounds. And then you can actually get into accelerators. But also, I think one important point here would be to look into bootstrapping. And that's something we actually did when we started off our entrepreneurial journey. And I think that was a really exciting story, of how we raised some funds, through bootstrapping. But I think these are the different sorts of, different sorts of instruments that you can go for. Now, when you've identified what kind of investors you want, I think what's helped us, this is something that we do, is we made a master file of investors. And I would urge you all to do that as well. And so when you in that master file, you actually list down all the investors that you're wanting to pursue, or even if you have pursued them, just list their names, their contact details, wherever you can find them. What geographies they're investing in, what their portfolio of investment is, what kind of industries are they investing in, what ticket sizes are they investing in, so on and so forth. You can actually make an entire master file of investors and actually take your notes against that. Because I think that actually really helps to look back when you've actually gone through a few months and you realize you've already spoken to these guys before, or you were thinking, but for some reason you decided to just let go. Now, it's important to note it typically actually takes around 9 months or so to seal a funding round, to close a funding round. So if you are actually looking to raise funding, let's say in December, then you should definitely start, next month or in March, to start raising that funding, because it will take time for investors to go through the entire due diligence process, which I'm going to come on next to seal that. And please don't get disheartened by this, but on average, it takes around 100 meetings to actually close earlier funding rounds, which means seed, pre-seed. So this is actually an average number. I'm hoping and I pray that, for most of you, it's much lower than that. But, in our experience as well, we've spoken to lots of investors all over the world. And, the experience has been very overwhelmingly insightful. We've learned a lot. And I think this is a process. So if you are in this space, be ready to go through this. Otherwise, I don't think you guys are prepared to be entrepreneurs as yet. So I'm not trying to discourage you, just trying to tell you that, this is a reality check. Okay, so guys, the fourth one for me would be to use your network. Just activate your network as much as possible. And I understand all of us might not be lucky to have a network. Some of us might have board members, some of us might have advisors, or even within the industry, friends who can actually create that network. So there are two levels. One is your first connection, and the other one is your second connection network. Now, I think with you guys, with NIC on board, it would be great to actually connect to people via their networks. Or even if you have a second degree connection, what you really need to do is, even if you're asking someone to refer your company, be prepared, or do share a snippet of your company with them that could actually help them brief out to whoever they're referring your company to what your company really does. So you can't expect, a third person to pitch to another person the way you would want to.
Sorry, एक चीज अगर ऐड करूं इस पॉइंट के ऊपर, आई थिंक अपना ईगो जो है ना बिल्कुल जमीन पे ना फेंक देना चाहिए, बिल्कुल फेंक देना चाहिए. And I think our first meeting was literally a cold call on a LinkedIn message, जिसको that turned into a phone call, that turned into a meeting, that turned into the second meeting, that turned into a third meeting, and then eventually turned into us finding Planet 10. So I think ego बिल्कुल छोड़ देना चाहिए, and कोई ना phone उठाए, ना कोई reply करे, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're doing this for your business, and I think that's the goal that you need to go in with. Ego should be left at the door when going out, and शर्मिंदगी की बात ही नहीं है कोई. If you are embarrassed हो रहे हो to reach out to someone, I think that's हमें अपने आप को फिर बदलना पड़ेगा कि यार ये embarrassment जो है ना पीछे छोड़ने की चीज है. And Noreen does that really well.
Yeah, I don't know whether people like me for it or not, but I think वो कहते हैं ना ढीठ हड्डी, मैं शायद वो हो गई हूँ, लोगों से pitch करके, I literally so I was actually going to tell you, जब आप pitch करे तो you just have to be a hustler, just hustle. Like I have actually had a chance to go to different countries to pitch days at different events, and God, it's really tiring. I've actually realized I've been dreaming and pitching at times. It's actually become like second nature. You breathe your pitches at times. So it's you have to actually that's what happens when you're actually pitching all the time. So I would actually say यहाँ से कि आप बिल्कुल अपना ego side पे रखें और just pitch and just make your pitch as crisp as possible. अब जैसे Hamza mentioned कि आप for example 2.5 minute होते हैं on average for you to actually go on and just make your case to someone. But now time attention span लोग investors के बहुत कम है, and as they're confronted with millions of pitch decks coming to them and the best of them from all over the world. So एक और जो चीज I think is very important is at the जब आप pitch कर रहे होते हैं at the end of every pitch meeting, make sure you have the next steps set aside. Because you have to have a follow on or a follow through. ये नहीं है कि बस अब pitch meeting होगी and आपका काम सिर्फ pitch करना नहीं था. You have to take away something from it. So let's suppose you just maybe set a next date for another meeting with maybe someone else from the team, or you say अच्छा यार अब NDA sign कर लेते हैं, या let's decide कि अगर you're more interested, then we can start the due diligence process. But you definitely have to have the next steps outlined. So as soon as you're done with that pitch, send an email, just jotting down, yeah, this is the key takeaways from the discussion, and this is what came out of it. So and then put timelines to it कि हम इस time तक ये next step है, इस time तक ये next step है, so that at least they also know what they are in for. And अच्छा इसमें होता ये जैसे हमजा ने भी कहा ना कि don't dwell over rejection. Rejection के करोड़ों reasons हो सकते हैं, but honestly हम लोगों के जो experience में ना what we've this is interesting, हम लोगों ने ना investors को 3 categories में divide किया है from the several conversations that we have. We call them high touch, low touch, and don't touch. So ये जो don't touch actually वो लोग हैं जो probably will not contact you maybe 10 days post your conversation, or you'll actually realize with time, and this is something that we've actually seen a couple of times in our career, is that a lot of investors actually fishing for information, but we will still tell you don't deter. Like हम जो entrepreneurs होते हैं ना, and I've seen more so in Pakistan, we really we hold our ideas so close to ourselves.
There's a question on that as well, so it's good that you're covering it.
Okay.
Question ये था कि पूछ आप अपना idea leak करने से कैसे रोकते हैं? ये हमारे साथ बड़ी problem रही है.
बिल्कुल. So ये हमारे साथ दो experiences हुए हैं. Of course I'm not going to name वो कैसे और किसके साथ हुआ, but I think unfortunately ये जो ऐसे experiences होते हैं ना, they take you on the back foot and you don't want to even share what your idea is. ठीक है, कुछ ऐसा भी होता है कि maybe some companies have an advantage to work on it, but
sorry to cut you. आप सर हमजा से फिर मैं ये जानना चाहूंगा कि ये जो LOIs होते हैं या जो NDA हम करते हैं, क्या ये documents do they really matter? अगर हम मेरे पास कोई आइडिया है और अगर मुझे इनोवेशन है उसमें और मैं प्रोटेक्ट करना चाह रहा हूँ, तो मैं NDA करूंगा बातचीत से पहले. LOI की क्या अहमियत होती है?
मैं बिल्कुल अभी स्टेप्स पे आने वाली थी इस पर. तो देखिए इसमें अब जो ड्यू डिलिजेंस प्रोसेस है ना, एंड द नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज एक्चुअली द ड्यू डिलिजेंस प्रोसेस है. जब कोई इतना इंटरेस्टेड होगा तो वो आप क्या ड्यू डिलिजेंस करेगा. तो देखिए जो NDAs होते हैं, आई फ्रॉम आवर वेरियस कन्वर्सेशंस विद आवर लॉयर्स एंड आवर लीगल काउंसिल, दे probably might not be enforceable. ठीक है, एंड स्पेशली व्हेन यू टॉकिंग अबाउट कोड्स, जैसे हम लोग की टेक्नोलॉजी है, अनफॉर्चुनेटली IP राइट्स की भी सिचुएशन पाकिस्तान में तो बहुत ब्लीक है. इवन ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड there are challenges around technology codes की IP rights, which means कि अगर आप थोड़ा सा भी कोड चेंज करते हैं तो IP चेंज होगी at the end of the day. But देखिए I think it actually comes down to एक तो of course I think ethically आप जिस तरह के investors के साथ deal कर रहे हैं, be very smart about what you're sharing and how you're sharing. You should, if let's suppose you have an algorithm, for example Tez, हम आपको अपना example दे सकते हैं. So we've actually developed an algorithm in house जो लोगों की क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस असेस करता है बेस्ड ऑन स्मार्टफोन एंड सम अदर डेटा. इसके पाकिस्तान में किसी ने ये इस डेटा के बेसिस पे ये एल्गोरिथम नहीं बनाया, which means that this we have conversation with banks and telcos who are interested in actually using this algorithm. So whenever you need to make sure कि यार ठीक है आप उनको बताओ कि एल्गोरिथम क्या है, क्या फायदे ला रहा है. मे बी ओवरऑल इंट्रिकेसी बता सकते हैं, बट you're not required to share your algorithm itself with your investors. Abhi tak, honestly, even with our investors so far, with the Midya, Axion, and even Planet 10, they've never asked us कि यार algorithm में क्या है, इसका code क्या है. अभी तक हमारा, at least हमारे investors ने हमसे आज तक नहीं पूछा यार, investor अपना algorithm खोल के दिखाओ क्या है. Yeah, they're interested in knowing कि कैसे operate कर रहा है, has the success improved across time. ये चीजें आज आप share कर सकते हैं, maybe overall dynamics आप share कर सकते हैं उसके, but you have to be smart in terms of what you're sharing as well. Because execution at the end of the day आपके हाथ में है, और that's what the key to success is. और देखें प्रोडक्ट जो है वो बहुत लोग बना सकते हैं ऐसा, मे बी फ्रंट एंड भी कॉपी कर लेंगे एग्जैक्टली, मुश्किल नहीं है आजकल के दौर में, मे बी आपसे बेहतर को फ्रंट एंड बना लेगा, बट एट द बैक एंड आपकी एग्जीक्यूशन कैसे हो रही है, आप देखें आप कैसे कस्टमर को जाके पकड़ते हैं, आप कस्टमर को अंडरस्टैंड कैसे कर रहे हैं, वो एवोल्यूशन कैसे ला रहे हैं, वो चीजें सिर्फ probably आप ही को पता है, because that's an idea that you've conceived.
I'd like to kind of add on to this point. If you don't share your idea, someone else will share your idea. So it's better, कोई छुपा कभी नहीं रहता idea. कोई भी एक innovation जो है वो छुपी नहीं रहती. All innovations come out in the public at some point or the other. So it's better that if you are the one who's kind of blasting out and saying, listen, I thought of this and this is my idea and I'm the one who's kind of thinking through this. Baki copy karna chahe copy kar le, but then people should know that you're the one who's kind of reading with that, right? So if you don't share your idea, someone else will. So I think holding back on that idea is irrelevant. And listen, Noreen ne kaha, I think sharing an idea is okay. Sharing the operating model is where you then generally require your NDAs or LOIs or those kind of things. So I think you need to create a distinction between those two.
Yeah, but honestly, at the end of the day, na, it's all about ethics. अगर किसी ने किसी ने अगर NDA sign करके भी कुछ गलत करना है वो करेंगे. So I honestly, unfortunately, this is how the world operates. So आप डर के पीछे नहीं हटना, just डटे रहो. ये नहीं होगा तो pivot करके हम, I think this is something that we talk about a lot. Entrepreneurs जो होते हैं ना, they're made to solve problems. हमारे DNA में है ये. So यार एक तरीके से या दूसरे तरीके से, if you're actually really passionate about what you want to do, आप कर लोगे. And हमारी market इतनी बड़ी है, competition से ना डरो, because I think this is what we also think. For example, we see that we will have competition from the telcos. Yeah, they have the kind of funds that they can really literally swipe us in some areas. But we also know कि यार ये sector को समझना हर किसी के बस की बात नहीं है. They, if they could have done it, they probably could have done it 10 years back. और दूसरी चीज ये कि I think जो competitors भी होते हैं ना, especially who have funds, they actually do a great job in doing the marketing for you. जब जो next players आते हैं उनके लिए market making हो चुकी होती है. So उसको just look at the positives of it. They probably put in the marketing money.
Careem Baikia is a great example, right? So ride sharing was something that Careem brought into Pakistan, and then Baikia kind of took that model of ride sharing and put it on bikes, right? So उसने कहा अगर पहले होता तो शायद लोग बाइक्स पे शेयरिंग ही ना करते, वो कहते बड़ा डेंजरस है, बट समवन केम इन, क्रिएटेड द इकोसिस्टम, अवेयरनेस क्रिएट की उसके बारे में, पैसा डाला, तो जब नेक्स्ट प्लेयर आया तो उसने उसका फायदा उठाया. सो it's important to have competition in the ecosystem, and जो big players होते हैं with big money, they build out that ecosystem for you as well. So very important for that.
So इसमें नौरीन और मैं थोड़ा सा आप लोगों से स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में भी जानना चाहूंगा कि what's the preferred structure? प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी ही होनी चाहिए, क्या कोई किसी को चांस है सिंगल मेंबर कंपनी बना के या सोल प्रोप्राइटर होके रेस करने का? वन, how important are this financial reporting कितनी बेहतर होनी चाहिए, बुक्स कितनी मेंटेन होनी चाहिए? So ये माइंडसेट कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है कि डॉक्यूमेंटेड होना कितना जरूरी है, इस पे भी अगर कुछ थोड़ा इलैबोरेट करें.
बिल्कुल जी, इस पे अभी आएंगे. सो सी देखिए, जो लीगल स्टेटस है कंपनी का डेफिनेटली मैटर करता है, बट ऑल्सो आई डोंट थिंक, देखिए पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त चैलेंजेस हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ सेटिंग अप कंपनीज. मतलब कोई डिफरेंसेस नहीं है फॉर अ स्टार्टअप और अदरवाइज अ कंपनी जो बिग फंड्स के साथ आती है. सो आई थिंक एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, before you decide to legalize yourself or get into legal structure, you should definitely do enough homework to get the product right. अपना product develop करें आप, अपनी research करें, अपने surveys करें, market research, अपने आप maybe you talk to the customer before, you actually decide on कि अच्छा यार, अब is the right time for me to actually make a legal structure around it. And देखिए honestly, वो public limited, देखिए essentially अगर आप लोगों की legal requirements नहीं है, तो private limited companies ही होती हैं. I think now you have so many. It's not really difficult to create a company, but issue ये होता है उस company के ongoing बहुत सी requirements होती हैं जो आपकी बहुत bandwidth ले लेती है. जैसे reporting requirements हैं, audit requirements होती हैं, tax requirements होती हैं. So ये जो है ना, ये चीजें आपको शुरू में ही आपका सारा it takes away a lot of time and effort. So you don't want to get into legalized structure till you actually know कि यार you're set with your product or you have some basics intact. So उससे पहले I wouldn't even say कि यार आप बस कंपनी बना के बैठ जाओ और फिर उसके बाद काम शुरू करो. पहले डिसाइड कर लो करना क्या है, थोड़ा बहुत at least you've done some work on the MVP or otherwise side, and then you come into developing a company. And वो sole proprietorship है या फिर वो partnership है, that ultimately depends on what kind of industry or what kind of structure you're getting into.
Yeah, I think it's slightly different. I think if you're raising funds, I think it's important to be at least a private limited company, because when you're raising investments and you're giving out shares, तो उसमें ना important होगा आपको उसकी legal structuring के point of view से कि यार कितना share देना है, कितना paid up capital है आपकी company का, and so on and so forth. So I think private limited जो है वो at the time of raising funds you should have that. But I think I agree with you completely कि जरूरत से पहले जो है लीगलाइज स्ट्रक्चर में आने की जरूरत नहीं है. आप अपनी सारा रिसर्च, होमवर्क, ग्राउंड लेवल वर्क, टीम बिल्डिंग, बाकी सब कुछ कर सकते हैं विदाउट एक्चुअली पुटिंग अ लीगल स्ट्रक्चर टू इट. बिकॉज रिपोर्टिंग रिक्वायरमेंट अगर आ गई या 100 बंदा आ जाता है कि ये टैक्स नहीं पे किया, ये ईओपीआई वाला आपने वो नहीं दिया, ये वाला प्रोविंशियल टैक्स के अंदर आपने वो नहीं किया, तो एफपीआर भी आता है, पीआरए भी आएगा, एसपीआर भी आएगा. So all of those things are challenging.
अच्छा, इसमें ना we can give you some example, just from our experience. We are a public limited company because we are technically being an MFI, we have to be a public limited company. यहाँ regulated entities के ऊपर तो compliance की requirements बहुत ज़्यादा आ जाती हैं. So like most of our time actually goes into addressing concerns like AML, आपकी AML क्या requirements हैं, counter terrorist financing क्या requirements हैं. So ये जो चीजें हैं actually really take a lot of bandwidth, and I think कोशिश ये करें जब तक आप ready ना हो to actually raise funding or to get into the revenue stage, or to launch, actually try not to get into legalized structures till you're actually ready. So yeah,
and that doesn't mean कि आपकी agreements नहीं हो सकती, right? ये between team members, between other parties, you can have MOUs at a personal level. You can have agreements with your founders कि यार okay इतना share मैं लूँगा, इतना ये लूँगा, but you can push that legal structure a little bit further down.
But I would actually also stress upon the significance of documenting everything. So documentation key है. Even if you guys are great friends and even families, just document everything. Not because you don't trust them, but कई दफा चीजें निकल जाती हैं दिमाग से लोगों के, because they maybe their mindsets evolved during that time. अच्छा, मैं इसमें ना 2 important चीजों पे before we go on stress करना चाहूंगी जो ड्यू डिलिजेंस के पर्सपेक्टिव से. आई थिंक हमजा touched upon it, but I'm sure आप लोगों को NSE में I'm not must have gone through this exercise, especially those who raise funding. But एक चीज होती है जिसको data room कहते हैं. Now that data room actually contains almost everything about the company, be it your legal, operational, financial, business, हर तरह के documents होते हैं इसमें. So when you're actually going to raising funding, make sure आपका data room ever ready हो, because due diligence process होता ही इस data room के ऊपर है. और data room का जरूरी नहीं है कि आप बहुत कोई advanced tools के साथ data room बनाओ. You can always make a Google folder जिसमें आप जिसको आप पास पे प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो और वो डेटा रूम बना सकते हो. सो आई थिंक डेफिनेटली आप इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. पर एक और जो इम्पोर्टेंट चीज होती है ना ड्यू डिलिजेंस के बारे में, वो ये है कि देखिए ड्यू डिलिजेंस सिर्फ कंपनी की नहीं होती. मेक श्योर यू टेक द ड्यू डिलिजेंस प्रोसेस टू डू अ ड्यू डिलिजेंस ऑफ द इन्वेस्टर एज वेल, बिकॉज आई थिंक दिस इज अ गुड टाइम फॉर यू गाइस टू नो ईच अदर, इवन टू नो कि यार वो इन्वेस्टर भी आपके लिए राइट मैच है भी कि नहीं. And I think this is something that we actually have this is one of the experiences that we have and we've learned from it and we'll share it. They can try to develop your personal relations or interact with investors as much as possible as investors or as individuals. Because at the end of the day, especially early stage companies, investors are actually wanting to know who the person who will be running the company is. So try investing that time, sharing more about you with them. Trust me, it goes a long way. Because we actually had an investment conversation, jahan, we actually somehow it was more of a board member related transaction that was happening. And we actually did not have much interaction with that particular investor. And ये investment हमारी जो talks थी काफी आगे से चली गई. But for one reason it didn't happen. But the conversation that we had with the investor, they said, यार आपसे तो कभी बात ही नहीं हुई हमारी in detail. आज पहली दफा when the deal actually fell off, पहली दफा आप लोगों से detail में बात हो रही है. Why didn't we have this conversation earlier? So would urge you कि वो आप रखें अपना एक